Hi there, Rory from Data Spinners here, carrying on with the document management app built over the Common Data Service for Apps. So today we're getting towards the business end of the app itself, and the plan is to enable us to actually connect in new documents, which was the whole point of the process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto the app itself. I was having a bit of a play because it's all about getting the images in. So what I need to do now is we've obviously got lots of pages, and I am just going to go to I've gone to the documents page here. So maybe if we just sort of do a quick recap, that we go to go onto this page here. In fact, I spotted something on this that I don't like, so I'm going to change the radius to 0 on that, because what that means, did it work? Let's change the radius to 0 and stick enter, because what that gives us is no curved edges there, which is what I was after. Okay, and so we go on to view suppliers. We're going to go view suppliers, obviously not in the play mode at the moment, and then we will navigate to all the documents in relation to that specific supplier. So if I go through like that. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to create a new document. So the way in which I do that, I need to do a quick bit of prep work. So this bit where I create a new document here, I need to go onto here because the name of the form is not very good. So I'll call it FRM new edit doc. Sometimes it's helpful to be able to edit and create a new document on the same using the same form. Sometimes it's not, so I could always change my mind. So we've got a decent name for this. So we're on the document screen here. If we hit the plus, what we want to do is we want to navigate to the SCR, and it is new or edit document, comma cover, right? Now cover, and we also want to do a new form. And there's actually that one there, which is nice and easy to read, and I'm going to close that, and we are done. So that gives me what I need there. I'm going to just check. Yeah, this has got a back one on there. I'm not sure if it was I suspect there's some slightly inconsistent behaviors on this. I was looking on the iPhone recently, and all their back buttons are off over to this side, so maybe that's a slightly better. They've done a bit more research than I have on this sort of thing. So I'm going to move that across there. That's a slightly nicer experience. And then if we hit the go button, we will. Now I have the funny feeling that this will be a bit mad. Yes, this hasn't reset itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to this thing here. That doesn't do it. This thing doesn't do anything here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do back on that. Good. Right, so that'll make that go back, which is nice. And what I'm going to do is a quick reset form as we go in, because I just don't want any nonsense going on as we open the form. So reset form, oops, and go on that. That should be okay. And if we hit the play button, hit the plus, then we don't have any data in there, which is perfect. Now the other thing I want to do on here, I could change my mind, but I want to make the default on this. At the moment it doesn't actually have a default. It goes parent default, which is nothing. And I want to change the properties on this thing here, and I want to make it GLRY supplier dot selected dot value. Oops. Now let's just gallery selected. Yeah, and then we just got to make sure we've got the right thing. So it should be that. Yeah, so it's Microsoft. I'm going to leave it at that at the moment. Obviously in the UK, this isn't really that helpful, having it phrased in that way. So I'm going to do it DD, MMM. Yeah. And the funny thing is, on that hint text, I'm not sure where that actually comes from. So I'm going to have a quick squiz at that hint text and see if there's anything that I can do about that, because that is just a bit mad looking. Date times local. Not really sure what that is. So I'm sure there's a way of either showing or hiding that. And if anyone does know that, by all means put it in the comments. Primary name. Well, we've seen that actually primary name is actually better than is a better thing to use than the some of these fields that I've actually added. So I'm not so sure about that. We've got a document date, that's just fine. I'm just going to do a bit of reordering actually, because I don't like how this is ordered at the moment. So I think you'd probably put the primary name towards the top. Actually supplier name, because that's going to be pre-filled anyway. Move that along like that. In theory, we can actually make this change the display mode, because in theory this display mode should be view, I think. That means you can't actually change that, whatever happens, and we don't want people to change it either, because I think it'll affect the integrity of the whole app. Primary name. Okay, well we can change the text here, is because we've got a narrative as well. So I'm not sure what to put in here. Let's not worry about that too much. Let's just say it's narrative. Unlock to change properties, that, and then just do narrative. But I have the funny feeling that we've got short narrative. Now I have the feeling that that we've actually got more fields than this. I just need to select on it correctly. Good. Move across here, go onto this data thing, and just going to have a look to see if there's any. Oh wow, I've actually got a field called narrative, which is I'd probably consider that to be sort of more something a bit more like detail. So let's call that, go onto there, onto the advanced, unlock to change properties, go onto there, detailed narrative. Okay, that's fine. What I'm going to do here, okay, well that in theory is going to have a little bit more space on it, and I think one thing that I noticed on this particular screen is it's not a scrolling screen. So you know this is all we got. Now I wonder if we chucked a few more in there, it probably would actually start it would start scrolling. So that's not a huge problem. But of course you notice there's actually a scroll bar that appears, which isn't necessarily that. You know, it then starts to affect your screen real estate. So at that point we've actually got. Let's just check what happens. When we click this on select submit form new edit doc, wonderful, and we just need to check what happens when the on success property on this. So on success, it basically does nothing. So I think on success we just want to do a back. There is actually an on failure, but it's gonna kind of show up because it's just not going to submit. So we could make something pop up, but I'm not going to do that on this occasion. So we can add new document. Right, document. Good. Okay. So we can actually test this out now, which should be fun. So I'm going to hopefully find some image that's not too offensive. So what I'm going to do is hit the plus button. I'm going to do short narrative. I don't know, let's call it, I'd better go onto this mode here and then do subscription. and go on to there. What am I going to do here? I don't know, just put a date in. Wonderful. OK to that. And it was behaving a bit strange. I can see already I don't like the date format here, so I'm going to go on to that, and I really don't quite understand quite why. It's the default date. So actually put the let's just go on to the default date. That's just nonsense. It's just parent default. That's wonderful. And the format on here, just put this as long date. Longer date. And then at least means it's readable to lots of different people. So May the 22nd. Let's just check that. OK to that. Wednesday. Lovely. OK, that looks fine. And I'm going to OK this. Go in here. Go and find an image from somewhere. And I'm going to go and find... I have all sorts of mad things in here. This was actually an app that I don't know if this will work, but let's see. It says it's a JPEG file, so it's this is a room escape app that I've did recently. I don't even know if I've done a video for it. So I'll pop that in and let's just see what that one actually looks like. Yeah. So you can see this is how I do all of my screens. They're quite nice. These are. So detailed narrative. Here are some further details. Now I can see already that it's doing that thing where it kind of pops it in the middle. I never like that. So if I go on to there, need to find out where that goes. Mode single line, you go multi-line, it pops up to the top, and we are done. Hit the OK button, submits that, and hopefully, how cool is that? I notice here that it's not really able to cope with the kind of size image, like a landscape image. So let's just see what happens when we do that. That did not help, which is a little bit on the disappointing side. But there you go. And I'm just going to. I notice here that now that we don't have any means of sort of amending that. So what I'm going to do is just a little bit of that. We've got test subscription. That's our primary name. I'm just do. I don't normally right click and copy because it doesn't seem to work. So I'm going to do copy paste. Did it actually do anything? Not really. I'm going to paste that in there. That's total rubbish. In fact, what I normally do is just Control C, Control V. No, not on this occasion. And that's and what actually has happened is they're all gone on top of each other. So I've just got lots of them. So I'm just going to delete that one there, and we're going to do. I think there's narrative. Yeah. So we didn't put lots of narrative. I mean, to be fair, we shouldn't really be putting narrative in this section anyway. But actually, the sort of thing that you would want to do would be to do something like the date. So I'm going to change that to be the date. So date. Date document. You can see it's a funny way of displaying it. So I'm going to do text. This item date document, comma dd mmm. Yeah, and then I'll probably change my mind. Wednesday the 9th of May. Oh, that's quite nice. Yeah, I like that. I'm not going to do a sort on this occasion. There's lots of ways of doing it. I'm just not going to bother. Although it's not actually sorting by date, to be fair, and I think I would always want to sort it. You can see why they do the sort up and down. You can do things like the search bar. In fact, you've got the search thing up there, and we can see it's not that search bar isn't going to actually do anything at all because it's not referenced in this items thing. I'm going to leave that on this occasion. But what I do want to do is I want to go onto here and I want to add insert a button. No, I don't. I think I'm just going to insert an icon, which will just a little arrow thing to go to the right, and I put it in the wrong place. So undo that, and undo again, and move on to here, and onto there, and then icon. Good. Yeah, over you go. I'm not going to worry too much about formatting. On select, we need to make sure it actually navigates to the next screen. So what we're going to do is go onto there, on select, navigate, SCR, new or edit document. Wonderful. And then we'll do cover. Cover. Okay, now, and then when we do that, the only thing is, it's not actually going to open. We probably ought to make, well, we should make sure that it's opened in edit mode. Edit form, and we want to edit this one here and close the brackets. That should do the trick, but the thing is, what we'll find is it doesn't know what to do. So if we click through here, in fact it didn't reset it either, so I'm going to come off that as well. So we're going to go onto there, we're doing our reset form, FRM, new edit doc, good, because it's got a bit of a, it seems to have a bit of a latent memory of what's been in there before. So what we should find is that when we go in there and actually navigate through, it doesn't have any item display. But what we want to do on this is we want to make sure that it is able to show the correct item, and that's where this piece here works. So we're going to do GLRY documents dot selected. That should be enough, and it actually does all the things we need, which is brilliant. And I'm just going to hit the OK on that, and let's just see what happens when we says tap or click to add a picture. I can only assume that it's going to go over the top of the picture that's there already. Okay, good. And then we're going to save that. And interestingly enough, this thing hasn't got a refresh on it. So what I'm going to do is on this screen here, you see screen documents. I'm going to put on visible, refresh, and it's going to be the My Documents data set. So refresh My Documents. That should do the trick. Because obviously the image has changed, and I'm kind of a bit puzzled about why that's happened. So I'm just going to go onto there. Now that is weird. It is a PNG though. And I'll just do submit item. That's really peculiar. So it's not obvious why it would do that, but I'm fairly sure that what's actually contained within there is the correct information. Let's do a different one. Just do some other image. Let's do. This is, I think, a place that I'll be presenting at some point. Yeah, that's the Bath Digital Festival. So I will submit that. Now off it goes. You can see the dots at the top. That's telling us that the data is going off to the web. And it's very odd. I don't particularly understand why that would do that. What I am going to do though, I'm just going to pop a quick refresh icon in here. So I'm going to go icons. Shame we don't have a little shame we don't have a little search thing on the icons. That would be quite handy. I'll put color, and we're going to go white, and in it pops. Could do with being a bit smaller, please. Right, and then on select, and we're going to go refresh my documents and close the brackets. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I kind of want to see those dots appearing at the top. It happened very brief. You could sort of see the refresh taking place, but I really don't. I wonder if there's a part of me wondering whether or not it's actually got more than one image contained there, and you've got to select the image that you want. I mean, I'm not too fussed because in most cases I only want one document anyway. So I'll go create new item, short narrative, another one, and date the document. Let's put the 9th. Hello. Right. It's going to go for the 9th, detailed narrative test, and add a picture. And what else are we going to do? Sports stats. This was actually, I know this Fun with Flow. This was a kind of pun on Fun with Flags from Big Bang Theory. Yeah, Fun with Flow. Anyway, okay, so I then that. Submit item. Now one thing that, oh look at that, that's interesting. So the it's actually finally worked itself out. So maybe it takes a little bit of time to do that. One thing that's noticeable here is you don't have an ability to delete. So maybe we need that sort of thing. There's it's a bit more fiddly to do that. So I am going to leave it. So at this point, I think we got quite. This is quite a nice little app actually. It's certainly an app that I would be very tempted to use. I am just going to go back quite a while, and back, yeah, and that's a bit rubbish. Let's call this suppliers. Hit the back. Okay, business. Let's go home. View suppliers. Okay, there are my suppliers. Let's say BT. I go into there. I have no documents for BT. I can add a document for BT. It automatically goes in there. I'm going to do test 1, 2, 3. That. Okay, go for an image. I'm just going to pop this in here. Go for an image. What have I got next? No idea. This was another thing. In fact, that was the Fun with Flow thing that I did, and it was called Call Mum. Oh, and it was just a little icon that I've put together. Make sure you call your mum. It's actually one of my best flows. It's awesome. So, and hit the OK button, and off it pops, and that is really neat. I really like that. Good. Lovely. Okay, thanks everyone. I wouldn't, certainly from a tutorial point of view, propose to make many more changes to this. Obviously, you can spend hours and hours making the app better and better, but it's not absolutely necessary. I just realised he's actually got an AT-AT set on his lamp. Very good. Okay, please please subscribe, all those sorts of things. Hope you found it interesting. I certainly found the image part of this really really cool. In fact, it's something that I would really be tempted to bring into the workplace. That's very powerful, and it's a little bit better than the camera control, which can be awkward to use. So super. Thanks everyone, and I think this is a wrap for this for this whole tutorial. So if you have lasted out this far, then well done. I'll see you again soon. Put any comments in and all that sort of thing. So yeah, thanks everyone. Bye.